Very excited today to share with you the idea of psychological flexibility. It may sound like a bit of mumbo jumbo, but it's a really exciting concept. It links beautifully with mindfulness. A lot of mindful teachers don't know about it, but it's really, really powerful and it's very, very transformational. So psychological flexibility is part of an approach to mindfulness, I guess, called ACT. And we're going to be talking about that today. So my name is Shamash Aladina. This is the Teach Mindfulness podcast. And we're talking about this incredible quality of psychological flexibility. So let me give you a bit of a sense of the power of this. So we can measure people's psychological flexibility, which is, in a nutshell, I'm going to explain it to you as just being about learning to be mindful and move towards what's meaningful in your life, okay? And this set is a set of 6 skills that make up psychological flexibility. And some scientists, maybe lots of scientists, would agree that there is no other single set of processes that can predict transformation in human beings as much as this. And it's not really an exaggeration. In over 1,000 studies, we've found that these skills help determine why some people thrive after life challenges and some don't, why some people experience many positive emotions, things like joy, like gratitude, curiosity, sense of compassion, and others they've experienced it not so much. It predicts who is going to be able to develop a mental health challenge, who will be overwhelmed by things like anxiety, depression, trauma, substance abuse. And it will also predict how severe that will be and also how long that will last. This set of 6 skills, which makes up psychological flexibility, predicts who will be effective in the workplace, who will have healthy relationships and not. Even for things like exercise and dieting, whether you'll be successful or not in that, it predicts that. Who will be able to rise to the challenge when they've got some sort of physical illness. And then, even on the flip side, to do with athletic competition, how people will do there, how they'll perform in many different types of human endeavor. In fact, anywhere the human mind goes, this psychological flexibility can predict it. And in its essence is these 4 different elements of mindfulness and 2 elements about meaningful action. And, Dr. Stephen Hayes, who helped originally develop this set of 6 skills, he defines it as psychological flexibility is the ability to feel and think with openness, to attend voluntarily to your experience of the present moment, and to move your life in directions that are important to you. Building habits that allow you to live life in accordance with your values and aspirations. So the idea is it's about learning not to turn away from what is painful, which is like the natural thing that we do, but instead turning towards our suffering in order to live a life that is full of meaning and purpose. And that just seems so counterintuitive. Why would you want to turn towards your discomfort, your pain? But when you can do that, and you can do that using the flexibility skills of being open, of being curious, of bringing kindness in, being non-judgmental, bringing a sense of compassion to all this, because it's in where we hurt that there is what we care about. And at the depth of the place where we feel pain, there is great meaning and purpose and values. As Stephen Hayes says, our deepest yearnings and most powerful motivations lie hidden inside our most unhealthy defense systems. So when we feel something like anxiety, the idea is that we want to run away from it. That's what our defense systems say. Don't feel anxious, or if something's causing a panic, that means that I mustn't go there and I must avoid it. But actually that can end up being very, very unhealthy and create these negative feedback loops. So the idea is that psychological flexibility empowers us to accept our pain and live life as we desire with our pain when there is pain. So it's about making space and allowing it to be there, making space internally, knowing that to spend your life avoiding these painful emotional experiences, for example, will lead to a narrower life. Whereas when we can be open and curious and bring that along with us rather than in the running away mode, then we can actually focus our attention rather than on trying to fix the unfixable, to move towards what's meaningful to us. So that's why psychological flexibility is so powerful. And I'm hoping that more and more mindful classes start to integrate it and bring it into their work. And part of what this podcast series is about is to teach you how to integrate the two together and to learn to bring them as one, because it's a powerful concept. So psychological flexibility, there's a way of measuring it too. There's I think it's called the AQA2 from the top of my head, but there's some simple questionnaires that you can use to give you a sense of where you are on your psychological flexibility or where your students are. And there's 6 flexibility skills that I'll go through maybe in future episodes in a bit more detail, although I have covered them all to some extent. The 6 are: A is for acceptance or openness, or creating space internally for our feelings. C is for cognitive diffusion or unhooking or stepping back from our thoughts, creating space between us and our thoughts, realizing that we are not our thoughts. T, off the top of my head, is transcendent self, so seeing things from a different perspective rather than just, I am this or I am that. Being more flexible about your sense of who you are, or tuning into this observing self or pure awareness part of you. Being able to be in the moment flexibly, fluidly, voluntarily, and be able to move your attention towards what's meaningful. And talking about what's meaningful, being clearer about your values, what makes your life worth living, what kind of life do you want to live, and are you willing to keep stepping very slowly and in small ways and create habits that are in line with what makes your life meaningful, whether it's kindness or curiosity or learning something new or trying something different or connecting with others or opening yourself up to relationships, whatever it may be, creating space for that. So that's psychological flexibility. And we'll keep learning more about this hopefully as the podcast series continues. Get in touch with me. Let me know what you think about this. Leave a review or share it with your friends if you're finding it helpful. And I look forward to reconnecting you for our next episode.